You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Friday, happy Venus Day, and happy weekend. We made it, kicking off the weekend with some notable birthdays, some notable Leos. We have a full range of Leos that are celebrating solar returns. Benito Mussolini was a Leo, kind of an example of what happens when the ego is unchecked. Josh Radnor from How I Met Your Mother, Dak Prescott is a Leo, Martina McBride, total Leo vibes from her. Great performer. Let's see about tomorrow. July 30th, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Leo. Makes sense. It makes sense. Joey King, the actress, is a Leo. Lisa Kudrow from Friends. Terry Crews. I totally see that. Leo, performative energy. Hilary Swank. Henry Ford was a Leo. Jamie Presley, Gina Rodriguez, Vivica A. Fox. Wow, the list goes on and on for those July 30th Leos. Hope Solo as well. And we'll just round out the weekend with some July 31st Leos, including J.K. Rowling. I love that Gryffindor is like the house, right? It's like red and courageous and very, isn't it a lion? I love how she created Gryffindor to be like the best house, and she's a Leo. Mark Cuban, Wesley Snipes are Leos. Let's see, BJ Novak from The Office, Rico Rodriguez from Modern Family. So many actors and actresses are Leos. Dean McCain. It just makes sense. So if you are a Leo, if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday this weekend, shout them out in the comments so we can celebrate them too. In today's episode, we're going to walk through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you're joining me live, get comfortable. We have a lot to talk about. But if you're finding this video later, you can skip ahead to whatever day you're looking for guidance on. After we're done being live, I'll go ahead and put markers down in the description and on the timeline. So if you want to know what's up on Saturday or Sunday, you can just skip directly ahead to those days. And as always, we will finish out today's episode with a 3-card tarot pull to see what other guidance needs to come through. So as we're getting started here, I'm curious, how's everybody feeling coming off of the new moon in Leo? It was yesterday. We're still in that new moon energy. If you didn't have a chance to set intentions, you can still do so through this weekend as the moon starts to gain light again. It's gaining some of its power back, and it can illuminate what we want to call in this next chapter as well. The moon is in Leo all day today still, so if you really want to work with that Leo energy, tap into your heart space as we discussed yesterday. There's still plenty of energy to work with under this full or this new moon to support you. Want to party mood. We're going to talk about this. Actually, this is my partner, for those of you who don't recognize the little Frankenstein. That's a whole other story for another day. But I asked him how the energy felt this morning. He's like, it feels like I just want to go to Vegas. I'm like, yep, that would be what we're talking about today. And not only the moon and Leo, just like, yes, I'm feeling myself, but also we're going to talk about the Uranus-North Node conjunction. We've been touching on this for weeks now since Uranus and the North Node started coming together in Taurus, but That conjunction is now exact, or it was exact technically on the 26th, but we're really feeling it, and Mars is getting much closer as well. So Monday is the day, August 1st, we're going to break down that triple conjunction, Mars, Uranus, and the North Node, what that means. But today I want to dive into just Uranus and the North Node being together and the energy surrounding this new moon. Katie says it felt very expansive, and I think Uranus and the North Node are playing into that expansive, innovative energy as well. We want to change things, we want to shift things, and part of that is setting intentions that are big and grand under the Leo new moon. Definitely have felt the feeling myself, wanting to dance, wanting to work out. The moon's in Leo. We've got that energy. You got to move your body, get the energy out of us, express ourselves. Absolutely. Venus conjunct Lilith energy came along with it. Absolutely. I know you've been feeling that, Katie. So Venus and Lilith are together in Cancer, pulling away from that conjunction, but they're still close. And especially those of us who are women, you know, we're really identifying our power and our sovereignty with Venus and Lilith together in Cancer. But all of us, it's definitely adding to the bold vibes, right? Where we're just like, we're powerful, we're passionate, we want to show it off, we want to express it. All these energies are definitely playing into each other. Yeah, definitely. So today, the sun is in Leo, as we talked about. The moon is in Leo today. It moves into Virgo. I'll just give you a little fun fact here. At 11:11 Pacific time on Saturday morning. So we'll talk about that in a moment, but I'm really excited. I mean, as a Virgo, I love when the moon's in Virgo, but the fact that it's moving into Virgo at 11:11 feels very special. So we'll get there when we talk about Saturday. But first, let's dive into this Uranus-North Node conjunction. Oh, so Katie, you are really feeling Lilith and Venus in Cancer. I feel like reclaiming that power for you could be very healing as well with Chiron right there. Okay, here's a look at the chart, and you can see Uranus and the North Node, both at 18 degrees. And if you look at the exact minutes over here on the right, Uranus is at 18 degrees, 38 minutes. The North Node is at 18 degrees, 25 minutes. So still very close, less than a degree away from each other. And when we have a conjunction, just in general, so, you know, like we were just talking about with Venus and Lilith, the energies blend when two planets are together in our night sky. So you can almost think of the planets as satellites beaming down different energies, and each planet represents a different energy, right? Well, when they're together, or even the North Node isn't a planet, but it's a point that we track in astrology, it's like their energies are mixed. They're sending down signals simultaneously to us. So let's just, for those of you who are new to astrology, what's the North Node? You're like, okay, I get it. Uranus is a planet. You know, we understand the planets. We learned the solar system in elementary school, but what the heck is a North Node? Well, the North Node and the South Node are points along the moon's orbit, or on the moon's axis, if you will. It's hard to, like, trying to give you visuals, but they change every year and a half, 2 years. And they mark our eclipses. We track our eclipses based on the North and South nodes. In astrology, the North Node represents our collective purpose, our collective direction. And in your own chart, your North Node represents the energy you're here to learn about and embody. And your South Node represents probably the energy you mastered in past lives, the energy you're most comfortable around, what's easy to slip back into for you. Whereas the North Node is definitely out of our comfort zone. It's a reach, it's a learning opportunity. But when we track the transits, the North and South Node feel more like collective points, the collective direction we're going in and our collective past. So the North Node in Taurus, which moved into Taurus right around the beginning of the year, actually, the North Node in Taurus has really put the focus on the physical, our physical world. Taurus is an earth sign. It's very physically focused. It's focused on money as well. So there's been a lot more awareness this year about climate change, the environment. Now with Uranus, Uranus is the planet of disruption, innovation, rebellion, change, shifts. It's abrupt, it's spontaneous, and not spontaneous. It's like a surprise. I shouldn't say spontaneous. It's like, whoa, okay, where did that come from? That's kind of Uranus energy. You know, when people rebel and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting you to do that. That's Uranus. So we've been talking a lot about this conjunction lately, And you've probably started to feel shifts and changes happening. Now, this conjunction was happening over the course of 2 to 3 weeks, so we're in the middle of it. We're at the peak of it this weekend. And you might be starting to notice and observe what is shifting, what's moving, what's changing in your physical reality. As always, take a look at your chart, see where that 18-degree point in Taurus falls. All the charts I've been reading lately, I've been looking at, this week where the new moon is, but also I've been paying very close attention to where this conjunction is happening, especially as Mars meets up with Uranus and the North Node on Monday. There could be an action or something quick or something fast that physically changes somebody else's action, changing your reality, or maybe an action you take that is a big move, a big adjustment, a big shift. A lot of astrologers have been like, oh my gosh, this is violent, this is scary, this is a disruption. Uranus is sometimes called the murder planet. We know Mars, when it joins, is the planet of aggression and war and anger. And I mean, just look at the chart. Mars is within 2 degrees already of this conjunction. So we're starting to feel the triple conjunction energy pretty strongly all weekend. I don't love to look at astrology like, here's all the bad things that could happen, because I also believe in manifestation. I believe that we co-create our reality. So yes, I think in general this weekend, heading into the beginning of next week, be a little bit more cautious, just protect your energy. We might be a little more accident prone, but exciting shifts and changes can be happening even if they feel uncomfortable in the moment, and they probably will feel uncomfortable in the moment. But knowing that the North Node is in this conjunction, is a defining point of this conjunction, it's really reassuring us that everything that's changing right now is changing for our highest good. Hi, Diane. Sorry you're having a rough day. We're here for you. And know that sometimes things have to get shaken up. Uranus can do that. It can really shake things up in order for us to clear some tension. And when we talk about what's going on with the moon, it'll probably make sense why you've been having a rough day. So we'll get there in just a moment, but hang in there. In general, though, changes. I mean, Changes by David Bowie, just on repeat, all the changes. I love how that song says, turn and face the strange, because Uranus is all about the strange. It's all about the weirdness. It's all about the discomfort. Face it. Turn and face it. The more flowing and flexible we are, especially with the moon in Leo and this conjunction happening in Taurus, these fixed signs, the more we can be flexible, the easier these changes will be to navigate. The more we dig our heels in and stay stubborn in that Taurus nature, the harder it's going to be to flow with change, right? So really, even if it's uncomfortable, stay open, stay flexible, and anything that pops up that feels like a roadblock or a discomfort, just know that, okay, this is all happening for my highest good. This is all happening for a reason. The North Node is there. We're supposed to be going in this direction. And remember, even our individual experiences shape the collective, because like I said, the North Node is more of a collective energy when we're talking about the transits, but all of our individual experiences are constantly changing the energy of the planet, right? So maybe it's the universe, God, spirit shifting one thing for you, which has a domino effect and changes an entire dynamic among a group of people. We just don't know, right? That's the one thing we know, is that we don't know what's coming next. But if you're looking for change, this is exciting for you. If you're not looking for change, stay open to it, because it's probably what's meant for you. So we're really feeling that today. And I have to admit, before we move on to what's going on with the moon, I realized this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, we didn't talk about this the exact day on the 26th when they were like an exact conjunction. They're still an exact conjunction right now, but on, the specific day when they're like, the degrees and minutes are exact. They're perfecting, as we would call it. But then I looked at what was going on today, and I'm like, I really think we're feeling this today more, because the moon is squaring this conjunction as well as Mars today. So let's pull up the chart. We're now in the waxing crescent phase of the Leo moon, starting to gain light again. And this is a great time again to manifest, to vision the future. Also important to note that Uranus represents the future. It represents technology. And something I want to say actually about this is I've noticed this week, and I really think this is a product of this conjunction coming up with Mars and Uranus in the North Node. A lot of people are really upset at Instagram, like on social media in general. Like I've seen multiple people be like, I am just not happy with the format of social media. Now we're all doing reels. Everybody wants to be like TikTok, even Twitter. You're not even seeing people you actually follow. Like so many people have been complaining about social media, which I think is really funny just as an astrologer, because Uranus represents technology, the future, innovation. Mars is like aggression. There's an energy of upset, and people are like, also rebellion. Like we're pissed that social media isn't serving us the way we want it to serve us. So just an aside that I think is kind of funny as this is all going on. And maybe, maybe it'll force change. Maybe if enough people are like, hey, we don't really like the way Instagram is going, or we don't really like the way Twitter is formatting their algorithm anymore, maybe there will be a change for the collective during this triple conjunction. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of update come out Monday or next week to Instagram or a major social media platform. That would be pretty on brand with that triple conjunction. Thank you so much, Corby. Got to always look for the opportunity, even in the difficult moments, right? Yeah, technology does seem off this week. Lots of glitches. Mercury was also squaring Uranus yesterday, and those of you who were watching yesterday, just to fill you in, I was like, yeah, these subtitles aren't working on my end of the streaming platform. And then when I stopped the stream, the whole streaming service crashed. So I couldn't actually end it, and I was freaking out trying to end it. It was just a blank screen streaming live on YouTube. I figured it out, but then I went back and I'm like, of course, technology issues, just weird glitches in general. It does seem off for sure. Okay, let's talk about what's going on with the moon now. So we had the Leo moon, and early this morning around 8 a.m., I believe. Yeah. So first thing this morning for those of us on the West Coast, and really this is the first transit most people were feeling in the US, the moon squared off to Mars. So you can see that square right there. And when the moon squares off to Mars, it can make us more aggressive. It can make us more impulsive, reactive, angry. It can also, on a positive note, because you all know, I believe there's a shadow and light to everything, every transit. There's a way to work with it, and there's a way that it can work us. When the moon squares Mars, it can give us that push, that motivation. We just want to act. We just want to do when the moon squares Mars. And with the moon in Leo, it's like we want to take bold actions. Even if you got an idea yesterday that came through under the new moon and you're like, I want to do this, today might feel like I want to do it now. Or like my partner said, want to party mood. Like, let's just go to Vegas. Like first thing this morning, I could see a lot of people being spontaneous, impulsive with the moon squaring off to Mars. Or as Diane was saying, rough day today, aggression could come out, irritation, anger. But either way, there's kind of this restless energy that we started the day with. Like, let's just do it. Let's just go now. Let's say the thing. Let's be bold. Let's be fiery. That doesn't always work in our favor, right? But if you were needing a little motivation to get a pep in your step, the moon squaring Mars can give that to you. Just might be a little bit more aggressive than you were bargaining for. And then shortly after, actually what we're experiencing right now, if you look at the chart, is that square, same square between the Leo moon and the Uranus-North Node conjunction. So that's why I was saying, I was kind of like, oh no, I missed the exact day when Uranus and the North Node were together. But the moon is squaring off to these three planets today. And when there's a square, we really feel it, right? Like we really feel the discomfort of that energy, the shaking up of these changes happening, these actions that we're taking. By the end of the weekend, we'll be flowing a little bit more with the conjunction. We'll be kind of able to balance with it and harmonize with it when the moon moves into Virgo, which will be nice. But to start the weekend. And today specifically, we're like, oh gosh, these changes are happening, and they're like happening right now. They might be blindsiding us. It's uncomfortable. There's tension. We can feel the changes even if we can't make sense of them right now. And that can be a tricky place to be in. So just really try in general to stay grounded, especially with this triple conjunction happening in Taurus. The more we can stay grounded, connected to our bodies, connected to the earth, the easier it will be to navigate the changes collectively and personally. But when the moon squares Uranus and the North Node, but specifically when the moon squares Uranus, we again crave a thrill. We want to make something happen. We want to feel excited. We could have dramatic outbursts this afternoon. We could want to feel something exciting so much that we start to create our own excitement by triggering other people or being a little bit more rebellious. So Uranus is playing into the energy that was kind of sparked this morning by the moon squaring Mars of feeling impulsive and maybe a little restless. And now it's like we want the excitement. The changes happening that we're observing could also trigger some fiery emotions during all of this. With the moon in Leo, it could be really easy for our ego to take over. And our ego doesn't like change. Our ego wants things to stay the same. And Leo is very much associated with the ego. So, you know, if you notice your ego being like, I don't like this, I don't want change, I just want things to stay the same, remember, you are not your ego. You can observe your ego. That's just one part of you. And maybe be like, okay, it's all right. We're safe. Stay grounded. We're good. Change is what's supposed to happen right now. It's okay if things don't look the same today as they did yesterday. In fact, that's probably a good thing. So knowing that the North Node is there too, the North Node just feels like reassurance to me all the time. Like, we're going in the right direction. We're moving in the right direction. And anytime we have a square to the North Node, remember, we also have a square to the South Node. So as the moon is squaring the North Node right now, it's also squaring the South Node. You can see the moon becomes the yod, or that pivotal point of this T-square, which to me, this is like a fated day, a fated turning point emotionally in these changes that are happening. We're like, okay, we're able to see our past, we're able to see our future, we're able to be in the middle of it. And yes, it's uncomfortable to be in the middle of change, but we know this is all supposed to be happening. So specifically to you, Diane, we love you. And if you're having a rough day, or anybody who's having a rough day, just know that by the end of the weekend, I promise you, the energy gets a lot lighter and better, and we're getting there. But also, we're in the midst of a change right now. It almost feels like we're in the middle of a snow globe that's being shaken, you know, and eventually we'll be still and the snow will fall and we'll find peace again. But right now, we're in the exciting shaking point, and yeah, it's not comfortable. Very curious about what will come out of this conjunction. Katie says, just trying to stay open to possibilities and opportunities. I have Jupiter and Mars in Taurus. Big moves for you, big changes. But with Jupiter there for you, Katie, I see this as being fortunate. And what you're doing right now is perfect. We can all take a page out of Katie's book. Stay open to the possibilities. You never know. The universe usually has a better plan for you than you have for yourself. And that's coming from a Virgo who has a lot of plans for herself. Okay, so sometimes we just have to release and let go of what we think we want and be open to maybe something even better. And all week I've been quoting and sharing things from my mentor, Kat, with Crystal Rising, but she's just such an inspiration to me. And she always says when manifesting, and of course we're talking about manifesting so much under this new moon in Leo, when you're setting intentions or visioning for yourself, say this or better. So like, yes, I want the new house. I want a new house and I want it to look like this. Maybe you're a specific manifestor. You got it on the vision board. But I love putting the caveat this or better, because you're opening yourself up to the possibility that the universe actually has something better in store for you. It might not be on your timeline. It might not look exactly how you want it to look in the moment, but saying this or better tells God, Spirit, the universe that you are open to whatever is of the highest good. The snow globe energy feels about right. Yeah, I feel the upset energy from last hour. Sometimes knowing what's going on just shows us we're in alignment even when it's not comfortable. So you're aligned. Today might feel like a hard day. We're going to keep going through the moon's transits, and they're not the most fun today. I will be straight with you. The moon is making some uncomfortable connections today, but it's all happening for a reason. Okay, so by this evening, we're starting to come away from the upset energy. Okay, we might feel it for the next couple hours if you're joining me live, but it should die down a little bit as the moon pulls away from that square. At 4 p.m. Pacific time, the moon meets up with Mercury. So you can see the moon's heading that way, 20 degrees. The moon and Mercury are in the same place, just like we talked about with the Uranus-North Node conjunction. When the moon is conjunct another planet, the moon is our most powerful satellite, the way I see it. The moon controls the tides. It's like closest to us. We're very attached to it. You know, we look up at it and we're like, oh, she's so beautiful. When the moon is conjunct a planet, I see it just like supercharging, pulling the energy of that planet. The moon forming a conjunction to Mercury tonight. Mercury rules our mental state. It rules our thoughts, ideas, our ability to communicate. So our emotions and our mind are one when the moon and Mercury meet up like this. We're having bold emotions under the Leo moon, and those bold emotions can inspire bold ideas, right? Again, this would be a great moment this evening, maybe not late tonight, but this evening if you're trying to manifest. When the moon forms a conjunction to Mercury, it could be a powerful time to do so if you're feeling good. You want to make sure that you are feeling good when you're manifesting, because the energy you're in is going to attract more of that energy, right? So if you're feeling good, if this is a positive new moon for you, and you're even just for a moment, you're feeling a boost of energy, tap into your heart space, feel your heartbeat, feel that inner fire. And from that place of feeling good and being an exciting emotion, think about what would bring more of that in. And that's a great place to start manifesting. But because we have such chaotic and uncomfortable energy leading up to this transit, those fiery emotions, if we're not in a positive headspace or positive emotional state, can also overpower our mind, because our mind and emotions are one when the moon and Mercury meet up. So, you know, we could convince ourselves like, oh, we feel angry or frustrated right now, and that we are, you know, mentally we are angry or frustrated. But remember, your mind and emotions are separate. Your ego is a separate entity. You know, we have all these different components of ourselves, and none of those things are you. You're a beautiful spirit here having a human experience. So you don't have to buy into every emotion that comes through, right? That doesn't necessarily define you. So if you're feeling good, maybe brainstorm, share with other people, talk with other people. If you're not feeling so good, you don't have to like totally take that on. Know that even the thoughts you're telling yourself might be lying to you a little bit, and you don't have to buy into every negative thing that pops into your head tonight. I will say, when the moon and Mercury are together, I always recommend processing emotions through words, whether that's talking with other people that you trust, maybe someone who you respect, as we'll talk about in the next transit, or writing down, journaling, even talking to yourself. Anything, reading a book that inspires you, anything that really activates your mental state is going to help you process emotions when the moon and Mercury meet up. And again, this is like 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time that we're feeling this as the week's winding down, as maybe you're getting home from work or finishing out your week. Take some time to reflect, to journal, to have a conversation, and use your words to process your emotions. Now, the final transit of this Friday night is another difficult one. The moon is opposing Saturn. So 23 degrees. When the moon reaches that point in Leo, it will form a direct opposition to Saturn. Saturn is retrograde, remember, so we're really reviewing a lot of the lessons we've been learning. But when the moon opposes Saturn anytime, we can kind of feel isolated, lonely, negative, depressed. We can clearly see the lessons we've been learning because we have that, we talked a lot about this week, like a mirror analogy. When there's an opposition, we can clearly see the energy of the other planet, right? It's directly across from our emotional state, our moon, but Saturn is negative, you know, and so it could feel like your emotions are being overpowered by those negative thoughts. Again, coming back to every thought that comes into your mind, you don't necessarily have to buy into it. Now, if you're feeling sad, depressed, taking some alone time might feel good for you, or Going back to talking to someone you respect, talking with an elder in your family. Saturn represents wisdom. So maybe it's having a conversation with someone wiser than you that helps you process your emotions tonight as the moon opposes Saturn. I will say too, sometimes there's a gift in feeling negative emotions or observing our negative patterning, because it can show us what we don't want. And that's another little tool. When something comes up that's negative, we can just say, thank you for showing me how I don't want to feel. And then that's an easier way to get out of that mindset. So, observing our emotions, being the observer of them rather than just fully being in them, can really help us identify, oh, I don't want to feel like this, or this isn't what's working. And we can have a clearer view of the lessons we're learning or the things that may be falling away for us to open up to a new chapter. But alone time could really help tonight if you're feeling called to isolate a little bit. Just know if you're feeling down by the end of the day that it won't last, and just give yourself the time and space you need, especially after such a rocky start to the day. I promise you by the end of the weekend, we're going to end on a high note. I promise. Okay. So that's today. It's kind of a roller coaster ride, right? Diane says, my app had stopped working accidentally. Yeah, again, with technology issues. My natal Mars is in Libra, natal Uranus in Sag, and North Node in Aries. I'm a Libra sun, wondering why that's why it's triggering for me. Well, there's a lot going on in Aries right now too, with Jupiter in Aries. I don't really see anything that's like screaming to me. I guess all the fire energy with the moon in Leo. Yeah, it's definitely triggering your Uranus in Sag and your North Node in Aries, but also the energy is just triggering. And sometimes with astrology, we can like try to make sense of it. Like, I wonder if it's this placement or this placement, but it just kind of is what it is right now. Like, we're all, look at the comments, we're all feeling like upset and kind of like what changes are happening, or like we just want to do something, or we want it to be different, or we want it to change. It's definitely a restless energy today. And I see it like, we're kind of peaking right now, and then by the end of the day, we're like, oh, wow, that was a lot. We just need to be, but we might feel drained when the moon opposes Saturn. Let's move on to our Saturday, because we're going to talk more about Mercury and Saturn. So the main transit we're feeling, this will be on Saturday night, actually, but we'll start to feel it tomorrow afternoon. Mercury opposes Saturn. Let me jump ahead a day on our chart here, and you can see Mercury in Leo is opposing Saturn in Aquarius. This really plays into the energy we just talked about, being able to clearly see the lessons we're learning right now, being able to understand and rationalize why things are happening the way they are. Saturn brings a very logistical energy. It's very practical. So Saturday evening would be a great time to have serious conversations, to take care of practical matters, learn practical information. Maybe there are some like boring, mundane things that you need to do that involve, your mental capacity. Like, I don't know, if you had to like write a boring letter or something like that, like this would be a good energy for it. But practical thinking is going to kind of define our experience this weekend. We can clearly see what's not working with Saturn there. Saturn is like, hey, this is what's not working. Here are the lessons you need to learn. Here's the negative. Saturn puts it in our face in a very harsh way. Thanks a lot, Saturn. But by clearly seeing what's not working, we can also set intentions around what's going to work better. Now, it will be easy to fall into a negative mindset this weekend. It'll be easy to slip into it. And you're here now, you're understanding that. That's a beautiful thing, because now you have the awareness. Oh, am I slipping into a negative mindset? I don't have to go there. Or what is that negative feeling, emotion, whatever, showing me? What is that negative thought showing me? Is this a limiting belief that I'm putting on myself? It can be a gift, again, to have negative experiences to show us what we don't want. Our mind will be more disciplined under this transit, though. Saturn is very disciplined, so it will be easy if there are some, again, like mundane or serious practical tasks you have to do. This is not a creative energy. This is like, get the things done that you have to get done. Think about the things you have to think about. If you have to like sort out a practical problem, this is the time to sort it out. maybe this is all happening too. We're sorting things out this weekend. So come Monday, this triple conjunction, we're able to take action and be a little more excited about the future. But this weekend does feel like maybe there are tasks. Mercury rules our daily schedule, our tasks, like serious or practical tasks we have to get done. And actually this opposition could make it easier to do those things. But there's also the tendency to isolate, feel like we have to do it all on our own. These are our duties. These are our responsibilities. Going back to having conversations with people who have more experience, more wisdom than you, that can really help you get out of a negative mindset or learn the lesson the universe is trying to teach you. Sometimes it just takes one conversation, one little piece of insight from someone else to completely change our mental state. So I know this forecast so far has been like, oh boy, I swear, I know I keep saying it, but it's going to get better. It's a really, really like the most positive transit by the end of the weekend, okay? So we're having a lot of serious thoughts. That's the straightest way to put it. Serious thoughts, serious conversations, getting practical things done, making logical sense of what's shifting, what's changing, what we really want, and what we really don't want, what's not serving us anymore. Tomorrow, Saturday, the moon is void until 11:11 a.m. when it moves into Virgo. So we have a slow start to our Saturday. And if you're feeling that, if you're just feeling like low key, you don't want to get anything done Saturday morning, give yourself that time. There's really no sense starting anything new under a void moon. It's not going to amount to much. In fact, Saturday morning would be a great time to tie up loose ends, finish things out. So when the moon moves into Virgo, moves into another part of your chart, you have some fresh energy to work with. So when the moon moves into Virgo, it actually doesn't make any connections on Saturday. We just feel this like pure, fresh energy of the Virgo moon. Now, Virgo energy, since we'll be feeling this moon all weekend, the waxing crescent moon in Virgo, let's talk about this energy. Virgo and waxing crescent, to me, go hand in hand. Both of these energies are about planning, preparing, really gathering the details. Virgo loves the details. Virgo energy is very aware of the fine print. So if you're kind of in the mood to manifest on Saturday, you'll be very aware of the details. Like it might even help you get more specific about what you want when the moon is in Virgo. But I will say being more aware of the fine print, being more aware of the details can make us more critical, especially if we are emotionally activated. It can be like, oh, well, you're doing that wrong. You're not doing that the way I want you to do it. So really be cognizant. We just talked about being more practical, being more analytical and serious. The energy of Saturday doesn't provide a lot of compassion or nurturing, doesn't provide a lot of grace. We're going to have to stretch ourselves a little bit to give grace, to be more compassionate. Something that helps when we're talking about Virgo energy is remembering that Virgo is the sign of service. So how are your emotions, what you're doing, what you're thinking, how is that serving other people? That can kind of help us come back to a place of grace and compassion and not being so hard on ourselves and other people. Because let's be frank, the expectations are really high when the moon is in Virgo, and we expect other people to meet our standards, and that can set the stage for some disappointment. Take it from a double Virgo. So there can be beauty in the details. When we pay attention to the small details, we can find joy, we can find emotional nurturing, but the devil's also in the details when we force the details on other people, if that makes sense. So just don't let your expectations get the best of you. Really try to stay mindful and grounded. Virgo is an earth sign. So once the moon moves into Virgo Saturday, it's like get out in nature, get grounded, make sure you're taking care of the physical. And I see Saturday as a day where we can like really get a lot of things done that need to be done, if that makes sense. Like just get a lot of tasks done. That way Sunday, which we're going to talk about in a second, you're like ready to party and feel good, and you're not weighed down by those duties and responsibilities. You already got them done on Saturday. You used the practical Virgo, Saturn, Mercury energy to your advantage. My son is having a rough go with this transit. He has Uranus in Aries and Saturn in Capricorn. We're taking a lot of quiet breaks. Well, that's a great thing to do. I'm curious what his rising sign is too. Like, what's his ruling planet? That's something for all of us to keep in mind. Knowing your ruling planet, which is the planet associated with your rising sign, can also tell you what transits are going to activate you more. If you're a Virgo rising or a Gemini rising, you're probably going to feel that opposition between Mercury and Saturn more strongly than other people because you're ruled by Mercury. If you're a Capricorn rising, you would feel that too because Saturn rules Capricorn. So there's so many ways to apply these transits to your chart, but we're all kind of having a rough go at the moment. And some of us might have worked some things out earlier in the week when Mars was squaring Mercury, right? We really had some aggressive conversations come up this week. I know a lot of you felt that too. So maybe some of you have sorted past a lot of things, or maybe some of you are still in it, still feeling it. And remember, children are more sensitive to this energy too. So good on you, Mama, for understanding that it's not just him. He's being affected by a lot of chaotic energy right now, and giving him the quiet time, the compassion to just be. Ooh, okay, if he's a Sag rising, he's going to be feeling himself on Sunday. Let me tell you, he is going to be feeling himself because we're talking a lot about Jupiter. And yeah, Diane, being a Gemini rising, Mercury squaring Mars earlier this week probably was really rough on you. Mercury opposing Saturn this weekend could bring a little bit of doubt, fear up, but just know it'll pass. It's just a transit. They are always changing, always new opportunity to get into a better headspace. There you go. Yeah. And with Mercury opposing Saturn, Saturn could be giving you like, hey, these are the things you got to get done. It's like that father energy. So, Saturn day, Saturn could help you make progress on your ever-growing to-do list. And me too. My to-do list is about a mile long right now. And sometimes you just got to get what you can get done when you can get it done, and not stress too much about the timeline, which is easier said than done. But that is something I'm trying to work on as someone ruled by Mercury as well. Let's talk about Sunday, Katie. Let's talk about how great of a day your sun is going to have, because we love this transit. Okay, first, one more to get through, one more thing to talk about that's like not the most fun, okay? But then I swear we're going to talk about the best transit. So Venus is squaring Chiron on Sunday. This happens at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So the opposition between Mercury and Saturn, this very practical energy, could kind of carry over into Sunday morning. This square between Venus and Chiron, I see this as maybe some painful moments coming up in relationships. I don't think it will last too long, but there could be some wounding around love, money, beauty that comes up at some point on Sunday. Luckily, the main transit we're talking about brings good vibes, and we should be able to get out of it pretty easily, or see the positive really easily. But just know that there is a potential for these things in our relationships, with our partners, with our friends, or even just our own relationship with money and beauty that could come up. We could see what still needs to be healed. But remember, also, when we're feeling a trigger like that, it's really showing us what we want, what we truly desire. And Venus is all about desire. So if you're feeling a trigger and you're like, I just wish I was this, or I hate that my partner does this, or I wish I had more money, it's showing you this is actually what you want. Yeah, it's feels like this is what I don't want in the moment, but use that intel, use that information coming in to be like, oh, this is helping me get clearer on what's important to me, what my values are. Venus ruling our values. So rather than focusing on what you don't want in relationships or in your own life, try asking your partner, your friends, the universe for what you need. Hey, it would be really helpful for me today if you could do XYZ. It really makes me feel loved when you do XYZ. I just really want to have enough money to feel comfortable. I really want to feel beautiful in my own skin. And then follow up, how can I take one step towards that? This is the day before the Mars-Uranus-North Node conjunction in Taurus. I really see this affecting money a lot for people because that conjunction in Taurus. Taurus is the sign most associated with our money and our income, right? So maybe there's some wounding that comes up for you around finances on Sunday or just over the weekend in general. And that awareness could bring a shift or an action you take on Monday that changes your situation when it comes to money. Same thing with, beauty, relationships, but with so much activation going on in Taurus right now, I really see this bringing up money issues for a lot of people. Okay, I don't want to talk about anything more negative. I recently got the new strain of COVID after picking up a lot of hours at work. Ooh, I'm sorry you're dealing with that. Your body's asking for rest, so give it rest. If you're feeling run down, and you said after picking up a lot of hours at work, that could just be your body's way of telling you like, hey, our immunity is lower because you're pushing us too hard. I say us because you and your body are like in this relationship with each other, but I'm sorry you're dealing with that. I don't want to discount how much that sucks, and I hope you're feeling better soon. Okay, now let's talk about positivity. You're like, we're waiting for it. You've been teasing us this whole time. This great transit is coming. Here it is. The sun in Leo, this vibrant, magnetic Leo energy is harmonizing with Jupiter in Aries. Voila, chef's kiss. We love to end the weekend like this. This is exact at about 3:30 Saturday afternoon. So we're going to be feeling this all day on Saturday. The sun rules our self, our expression, our energy, our vitality, and Jupiter rules optimism, abundance, good fortune. So there are so many positive interpretations of this transit, and let's just talk about a few of them. In general, this screams good vibes all around on Sunday. Even if you have a little trigger or wounding come up, it'll be easy to come back to the good vibes, see the positive, see the silver lining in the situation. This is one of the most positive astrological transits that we experience, and it only happens usually like twice a year. So I'm excited. We can really see the positive now. We can appreciate how much we've grown. Remember, during the new moon, Jupiter stationed retrograde. So Jupiter is still moving a little slower than normal. And as Jupiter is switching directions, it's asking us during this retrograde to review how much we've grown, to review our progress, to appreciate how much we've already expanded. And being in this energy of appreciation and gratitude on Sunday can help us call in more of what's already going well. There's plenty of vitality, plenty of vitality, of motivation. We will feel like sharing the good vibes with other people. Do something that lights you up on Sunday. Even if in the morning you're not feeling it, by the afternoon it could be something spontaneous. Maybe you feel like booking a trip or taking a short day trip somewhere. Do something that lights up your soul. You will feel so good during this transit. If you really don't have to lean into it much to feel the good vibes, but if you do, just lean into it a little bit. I would imagine you're going to have an amazing Sunday. Now, Jupiter is a little overboard, so don't be surprised, especially like Katie was saying with her sun being a Sag rising. Don't be surprised if he's got a lot of energy on Sunday. Maybe just plan something fun for him to do. Or something to keep his energy going and keep him entertained, and that goes for all of us. Having something to do. If you're stagnant during this, your body's going to want to move. It might just be literally exercising or moving your body, but I would try to do it in a way that's fun and lights you up. Maybe a dance party or something like that. We want to be social, and whatever we're doing on Sunday, like if we're in this positive vibe, could bring some good luck too, because a trine is lucky, Jupiter is lucky. I'm trying to point to the words. Serendipitous opportunities could come up. I love that this is happening in the same time frame as this Mars Uranus-North Node conjunction. This is all playing out at the same time. So this is really supercharging the positive potential of that conjunction, the positive in the moves we can make. And I think this is really priming us to be in a good vibe, a positive state, so we are able to make moves or be open to opportunities that come our way under the triple conjunction. Fortune favors the bold. on Sunday under this transit. So don't be afraid to make bold moves, put yourself out there, and see what happens. Be open to the possibilities. Let's see. Okay, thank you for the descriptor happening on Lug Sun God. Am I saying that right? Lug Sun God? Also of skills, craft, hoping this brings me a positive change with using my skills, graphic design through employment. And jobs, money are definitely favored with this happening in Taurus. So I see this as a positive for you. And I so appreciate you sending me information about Luke Sun God. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm going to share some of that on Monday too, since it's all happening the same day. I love that you guys are co-creating these forecasts with me right now. My husband has his art displayed on Sunday. This is huge for him. Yes, amazing. So many positive things happening for him. Yeah, always such a great feeling to see your art on display. Congratulations. And yes, we are all holding that vision for you, Diane, a new employment opportunity, something new and exciting that lights you up, and a big change coming to your income, to your physical reality. Okay, good. I'm saying it right. Luke's in God. I'm going to practice it over and over again. So yeah, Sunday, positivity, vitality, do something fun, really set yourself up to be in a positive energy, because the more optimistic and excited you feel, the more you're going to attract that, and the more likely it is that fortunate and positive shifts will happen for you under this triple conjunction. Let's talk about the couple connections the Virgo moon is making on Sunday. We already got into this detail-oriented, fine print energy of the Virgo moon. We're really like laying out plans under this moon. In the waxing crescent phase is when we are starting to plan and prepare to take action under the first quarter moon. So it's like we're gathering information under the Virgo moon. At 11 a.m. on Sunday, the moon forms a sextile to Lilith. The Virgo moon is a very pure energy. You know, Virgo is the sign of the Virgin. Lilith is not pure. Lilith is powerful and seductive and sexual. So I like these two energies working together, because it's really going to help us find that power in our body. Especially with so much energy coming up on Sunday, moving your body is going to be really helpful. We can also find emotional understanding when the moon and Lilith support each other like this through our own sensuality, through our own sexuality. So really leaning into that part of yourself can help you find some emotional power as well. So you can see the Virgo moon, Lilith there, forming that nice sextile to one another. But it'll be easy to lean into our power. Just try not to be too bitchy, you know. The Virgo energy can be a little bitchy. Lilith is known for being bitchy, so just watch yourself, especially because early Sunday morning we have that kind of triggering energy. Could be easy to be really critical, but come back into your body, come back into your power. That's the positive of this sextile between the moon and Lilith. Then, Sunday night, things start to shift. The moon forms a sextile to Venus and also makes a connection to Chiron. So here's what that looks like. The moon forming a sextile to Venus. We'll just jump ahead here. This is around 7 p.m. Pacific time, Sunday night. So our weekend is winding down. You can see that sextile between the moon and Venus helping us lean into love. But also at 16 degrees, Chiron and Aries forms an inconjunct angle to the moon. So this is an imbalanced angle. It's not a major aspect. But I see this playing into what's happening overall. We're feeling good. It's easy to lean into love when the moon forms a sextile to Venus. But also with this quincunx to Chiron, we could become more aware, as we are more aware of the details, we could become more aware of what still needs some healing. And leaning into love could actually show us that. It could actually show us where we're blocking our heart, where we're holding back, where we're not fully letting ourselves receive love or give love. So there's a lot of beauty, there's a lot of good vibes, but don't be surprised in the middle of such an abundant, vibrant transit if you're like, how am I not fully letting myself feel this or lean into this? And there is healing potential in having that recognition, right? So if you find yourself holding back on Sunday, that's where we can look to see, how can I heal this a little bit more? How can I open myself a little bit more? The final transit of the weekend, we're almost there. The moon is going to harmonize with the triple conjunction that's coming up on Monday. So it's a nice little preview of what's to come. This is 11 p.m. Pacific time. So literally the very end of the weekend. Some may be starting their week with this nice trine to the triple conjunction. We're getting a nice taste of what this is going to bring. So you can see what that looks like, that trine, when the moon hits 18 degrees right around midnight. It's forming this flowing, balanced, harmonious angle to Mars, Uranus, and the North Node, which are all at 18 degrees in Taurus. We're going to flow with change easily. And I see this on Sunday night specifically as maybe us getting a little bit excited for the change. Maybe us feeling like motivated to make a change. Virgo is controlling. We want to be in control when moon's in Virgo. So maybe you're like, okay, what changes can I make so I'm not being, out of control with what's going on with the universe? Of course, we can't control everything. We really can't predict what's going to happen under this triple conjunction, but you might feel excited or easily be able to lean into and embrace the changes coming our way under this triple conjunction. A really nice way to end the weekend with a trine between the moon and the triple conjunction. It's just priming us to feel open to the possibilities. Yeah, it does sound healing, right? Just leaning into love, leaning into the good vibes, and getting excited for what's to come, embracing the unknown. I see that as kind of the end of our weekend. We're able to see the positive and embrace the unknown. Let's finish out with our affirmation of the day that I think is going to carry us through the weekend and into the beginning of next week, into this triple conjunction. I am flexible in the face of change. I'm flexible in the face of change. It can be really easy during change to be like, oh, I just want to stay the same. I just don't want things. We can even feel sad or nostalgic, like the things are good and comfortable here. I don't want them to change, right? But staying flexible, staying open is key this entire weekend heading into next week. The more flexible you are, the easier it will be to navigate. We all need some positive healing, and we're going to get it. We're going to get it. Just try to reach for it. Try to stay open to new ideas, new understanding, new possibilities. Oh, I love you too, Kayla. Thank you for being here. Let's finish out with our tarot card pull for the weekend. I'm going to pull from the Modern Witch tarot deck. I'm always going to give my disclaimer with tarot. I am not a tarot expert. I don't interpret the cards. I just read from the guidebook, which I'm pulling up right now, and trust that whatever needs to come through is going to come through. So as I'm shuffling, this is your time to ask any final questions, give any final thoughts. Already the card on the bottom of the deck is the sun. How perfect for Leo season. Sometimes I like to pay attention to what pops out right when I pull the cards out, and we have a lot of energy. We have a lot of vitality to work with this weekend. That can be overwhelming. It can be a little uncomfortable, but good things are coming. I really do feel that. Okay, shuffling here now, seeing what needs to come through. I just saw the sun pop out again. Okay. Let's get grounded for a moment. Just extend some gratitude for you being here, showing up today. And let's see what needs to come through. What do we need to know? The Queen of Pentacles is our first card. The Emperor is our second card. And the Eight of Swords is our third card. Already loving these. I don't know what they mean yet, but I am already loving them. Okay, so starting with the Queen of Pentacles for our Friday card. Pull it up in the guidebook here. Get down to Pentacles. We love a digital guidebook because, it's eco-friendly, but not quite as easy to navigate. Here we are. Queen of Pentacles, what do you have for us? This queen is rich in more ways than one. She has a stable and simple life that she has filled with things, people, and activities that bring her joy. She is nurturing and generous, seeks to bring happiness and provide a sanctuary to those she loves. If you are the queen, it's time to be nurturing and caring. It could be as simple as taking some time to cook a meal for a good friend or buying a cute plant for someone special. Be kind. It suits you. I love this because as we started the forecast, I was really upfront with you guys. Like Friday and Saturday, it's not quite as easy to lean into compassion. There's nothing in the forecast that makes it easy to be empathetic right now. But this is our reminder, be kind. We can be stable. We can appreciate the simple things in life, find joy in the simple things in life, even during times of discomfort or change. Maybe it's just something as simple as your pet snuggling with you that makes you feel abundant and like a queen. So really see yourself as the queen of your own life, and what kind of queen do you want to be? Do you want to be kind? Do you want to be generous? Do you want to lift your people up? Or are you going to be the queen that's like, no, this is how it needs to be. It's my way, right? The Leo, ego queen. We don't want to be that, right? So I also love that we pulled the queen when we're talking so much about Leo energy, because Leo is really representative of royalty, right? So that's a question to ask yourself under this Leo new moon. What kind of leader, what kind of queen or king do I want to be? And view yourself as the king or queen of your own life, because truly you are. You are experiencing your reality and your reality alone. So be a kind leader. It suits you. That's what the card is saying. Okay, our Saturday card is the Emperor. The Emperor. What does the Emperor have to say? Let's see. Where are you, Emperor? Still looking for her. Here she is. Okay. I had a feeling this was going to have to do with Saturn just by looking. She looks very serious. She's in a suit. She has a serious look on her face. Whatever this is about to say has to do with Saturn. I promise you that. Boundaries and structure make us feel safe. The Emperor is full of authority and creates a world full of rules and laws. She is a comforting answer to the chaos of the natural world, but she is rigid and uncompromising on her stony throne. She requires logic and reason above all else, and she is unafraid to lead and take the reins to shape the world around her. Though she lords over a powerful and grand cityscape, the river of life has slowed to a trickle behind her. Protect yourself if you need to. Don't allow others to walk all over you, and don't be afraid to stand up, take charge, and force change. Logic and reason may be the best approach for a particular problem, and by creating some stability in your life, you may be able to release some anxiety. Don't lose touch with your compassion, though. Stubbornness and stoicism will not always be the best answer. This is Mercury opposing Saturn on Saturday. Making sense, doing things logically, getting things done, our duty, our responsibility, being the leader, taking the reins, all these things. But I love how this says don't lose touch with your compassion, because again, be kind, be compassionate, even in a time that feels chaotic and like we need to be stable and we need to be the leader. We can still express a little empathy and compassion. We're all going through this wild ride that is life together, right? And our Sunday card is the Eight of Swords. Let's find out what the Eight of Swords has for us. Our final message for the weekend. The Eight of Swords. You're feeling trapped, blinded, unable to take action because all your swords are stuck in the ground and they seem too difficult to pull out. But those ropes aren't very tight, and with just a little struggle, they'd fall right off. Don't surrender to hopelessness. Don't surrender to negativity. You might have made some mistakes that have gotten you there, but you have the skills you need to get yourself out of this situation. Ooh, this is so perfect. Always is, but Venus squaring Chiron can bring up that wound and make you feel like you are the Eight of Swords. You're this girl trapped, this wounding is coming back up. But I feel like the sun harmonizing with Jupiter by the afternoon reminds us, oh, we just have to shake it off. We just have to shake the ropes off, and we can find optimism again. We can find vitality again. Like, we don't have to stay stuck in this energy, stuck in this negativity or this practicality. So this is, as much as it looks scary, it's really an empowering card, being like, you have the power to shake off the ropes that you put on yourself. And it goes back to what I was saying about having such a vibrant energy might show you, where am I holding myself back from feeling good? What ropes am I placing on myself that are limiting me from getting out of this binding and grabbing the sword and taking action and charging forward, right? So remember, you have the power to shake off your own ropes. Where are you limiting yourself? Where are you being too rigid? Where are you holding yourself back? Lean into the abundant energy of the sun harmonizing with Jupiter on Sunday to remember that you have so much life and energy, and you are capable of anything that you believe you can do. Wow, I love, right? All 3 cards so spot on. The minute I pulled the second card, I'm like, yep, Saturn. I mean, I don't know if you, I know it's not in focus, but she's frowning. That's Saturn if I've ever seen it. Yes. Taurus energy too, as it talked about staying grounded, staying stable, staying secure, being that stable presence for other people. Definitely that Taurus energy of the Uranus-North Node conjunction, like being grounded and stable through chaos. Really helpful. I mean, just the cards encompassed everything we've talked about. Hi there. Thank you so much for being here. It's a co-creation with all of you, with the tarot cards. It just, whatever needs to come through comes through every day, and I'm so grateful for that. Better things ahead beyond the limitations. Abundance awaits, and all it's waiting for is for you to shake off your own ropes. Abundance is right there. Abundance is here now. It's all around us. All we have to do is stop limiting ourselves from attaining it, right? Which sounds so easy, and it's such a lifelong work for so many of us. But remember, oftentimes you're limiting yourself from feeling the things that you deserve to feel. So that's going to do it for this episode of Transits today. I hope that got you prepared for the weekend. I want to remind you that our subscriber numbers are going up very quickly. I think we might get some leaf blower action in the background. So I'll wrap this up quickly. But for those of you who are subscribed already, you can enter to win a free astrology reading with me. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. All you have to do to enter for the free reading is to share about these morning live streams on Instagram. You can share on Facebook as well, but I don't check that as much, or Twitter. And tag me so I can see it. I'll keep a list of everyone who enters, and once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll do a giveaway announcement. So I would love to connect with one of you one-on-one and read your chart and get to know you better. And I'm just so grateful for all of you who have gotten the word out already and subscribed already and helped me grow this channel as much as it already has. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we can finally start monetizing these free daily live streams and keep them coming to you for free every single day, because it's so important to me that these remain approachable and accessible for everybody, because this information should be free. It's changed my life. It's helped me so much, and I hope it does the same for you. So I hope you all have a beautiful weekend ahead. I hope you give yourself grace, give other people grace, and I'm really excited for us all to feel the vibrant energy this Sunday as the sun harmonizes with Jupiter. I will be back on Monday morning to dive into that triple conjunction with Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in Taurus. We're going to break it down together. Thank you all for being here. And yes, I think that conjunction on Monday may be the turning point. We may shake off our limitations and step into our power. Thank you for being with me through this wild ride called life. I love you all. I will see you right back here on Monday morning. But until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.